One of the most common things you will see in all of Rocket League is players blaming their teammates when they lose games. When in reality, if you are losing a game, you more than likely made plenty of mistakes throughout that cost your team some goals. So in today's video, we'll be discussing why you cannot blame your teammates for your losses. And real quick, before we do get started, if you guys are interested in having one of your own replays analyzed, make sure you do check out my Discord, which is linked down in the description, as I do offer free coaching through there. So because you have such an awkward takeoff here, like you gotta use a ton of resources to do anything with this ball because you had such a bad angle. And now because of that, you're burning all of your boost down to nothing. You get the 50. This is what we need to be careful of, though. So you take the 50. You got one more opponent here. The fact that you got the 50 means that that player you just beat is not going to take super long to be back in the play. Like, it's not like they went flying. It was a very mild 50, so they're going to land fairly quickly and be back fairly quickly. So what you have to realize is any touch that goes off this corner, if it's light, is probably just going to be free for your opponents. Because from your teammate's perspective, if we look here, like he's waiting, there is no way he can go for this. Absolutely no shot. Like if he dives, he's beat. So you're putting him in this spot now where you've given up the 1v1. Because you're now out of the play on 0 boost. He can't go because if he goes, he's just gonna get beat by this guy and it's an open net. So he's forced to back off. And because of that, you've now given up a 2v1 against him, which is not the spot you want to put your teammate in. And then once he's in this spot, it's like, yeah, good luck. You're just trying to win the 1v1. He gets back here. Now he has to worry, am I going to get bumped by this guy? I got to jump early. And it's all because you put him in this spot. I like the idea of the pass. The thing you just have to realize is that you just don't have the boost to get this powerfully enough into a spot that's actually scoreable. So what I would do here is don't even go to touch this. Watch this guy. If this guy wants to come in for the challenge, you can jump up to take the 50, but try to just stay close. Do not relinquish possession of this ball, because if you give up possession, it's going to be free for them, because there's just no way to feasibly get this into the midfield where your teammate would actually be able to play it effectively. So yeah, you could have just literally let it come back down. Your opponent's not challenging. You could have just caught it again, taken a 50 in the corner, and been able to recover back, but instead you pop it off the corner, and it's like, oh, well, this is not great now.
Ooh, I could never guess.
Yeah, hey, it looks kind of similar to that first goal, doesn't it? Where we, like, left our teammate in the world's worst position possible. Now, granted, the only thing, like, I can see from your teammate here is he rotates ball side. Which, in fairness, he probably thinks this ball is in, so he probably isn't caring. But, obviously, ideally, he isn't in this corner. Regardless, you have this ball. If you go for this touch right here, this is a touch that you're making, I'm pretty sure, because you have absolutely no awareness of where the opponents are, and you just feel like getting a touch because you can.
Kind of bang it downfield, probably. I mean, that's all I can really guess, I guess.
So, the danger of that, right? Your angle to get it downfield, kind of crappy. With where the ball is, it's super awkward. You also don't know exactly where the opponents are until, like, right at this exact moment. This is the first time you can really see them. Let's go back and see if you can see where they go. So that guy is rotating behind you. Where's the last time you see the other guy? You can't, actually. So there's Toots. He is going to the back corner. Okay, yeah, so you really have no idea where that guy is. All you know is Shelby's going behind you. So with that knowledge, you do not want to just boom this ball away from yourself again. You just have no idea where they are, and any touch you get could just go directly to them. So take a second. You don't need to fly this thing full speed. If for whatever reason there's an opponent literally right here waiting to challenge, trust that your teammate has the play behind you. They just went behind you. They just got full boost. If the ball goes over you, don't worry about it. That's fine. The one thing you again can't do is bang it directly to them. So you can go up this wall a little bit slower. Take a second to see where the ball is, see where they are, because at this exact moment, you could have just waited, because none of them are able to challenge. Like, you could have just let this ball come down a little bit more and try to drive down and catch it, or you can just eye them up, and when you see them coming in, then you can jump off the wall and chip it over them. You can do a lot if you just take a breath. You don't have to fly at this thing as fast as possible, because oftentimes that's where you get panic touches like this. Because this is just, I'm making a touch to make a touch, not to actually do anything good with the ball. And as you can see, Toots just reads it, turns immediately, and now, again, your teammate turns off this because he thinks that player's going to have control, And then, of course, the poor touch comes out, but at that point, your teammate was already forced to turn, and then he's just in a terrible spot. He tries to turn because he sees the bad touch, then it's like, oh shoot, wait, no, I'm beat, and then at the same time, he's getting absolutely slapped out of the way. So not a whole lot they could really do there, but again, you left him in a 2v1, same spot, where they can't really do a whole lot to defend that when they're under that much pressure. Pain. And, okay, right here. I understand you want to go for this double. Like, completely makes sense. As you're jumping for this, though, you need to be aware of the situation your teammate's in. Yes, he's chased a little aggressively. Yes, he's upfield when he probably shouldn't be. But you can see him. He's on low. If you had seen as you came up, the mid boost is not there. So you cannot rely on the fact that he's gonna get that boost. You have to be aware that he's low. So we need to be very careful with what we do with this ball. Because again, any ball that we like put off the backboard that's light or like drops in this area, probably not going to be for our teammate. He's over here, not likely that he's going to be able to circle back in with enough boost by the time we finish this off. We have two opponents here who will be able to capitalize on this if we drop it in that area. So, at the bare minimum, we need to make sure that we get some kind of touch off this backboard, even if it's not on target. We need to get some kind of touch so that this doesn't bounce for free. Because this bounce for free is just giving them way too much time to react to it. If we had gotten some kind of like pancake touch or any kind of touch at all, it would have confused them a little bit. And it had bought our teammate a little bit more time. But instead, you can see this boost actually spawned right after he left it. But now he's stuck here on 0, defending a counterattack where he's in the awkward spot of, do I just go? Do I go back? If I go back, I'm low boost. I'm defending some kind of air dribble in a 2v1. This is bad. So overall, like, yeah, air dribble, tempting. You could have also just taken this back to the ground. Like, if you just jumped to here, you got both of them retreating. You could have actually just light touched this and brought it back to the ground rather than forcing it to the backboard as well. But yeah, just try as much as possible to not leave your teammate in those kinds of positions where they have to determine what on earth do I do here. How much boost do you have right now? I'm curious. How much boost do you see?
68.
Okay, so how much less than 100 is 68? 32. Okay, so is 32 boost worth giving up all of that space? Because you're about to yeet yourself to your own corner to get boost when you have 68 and you have both opponents in the air here.
It is not worth it.
Hey, just turn back upfield. You don't need to run away. Let's play that game we always like to play of, like, what happens if I don't leave? So, like, this boost isn't here. I don't think you need to use this boost either. So let's just find where you land here. Here you are. You jump. You land. Imagine if instead of using any boost, you just turned back this way. Because if a clear is coming out, we don't need to go that way anyway. Besides, I'm pretty sure we just saw our teammate take it. So if you had turned back this way, you'd be like, here. Okay, we're looking. All right. Hey. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you could score that. At least try to. Because they both just landed. They're in horrible spots. So you'd at least have a chance here. But instead... Yeah, that's a lot of space. You're lucky they don't really do much with it. Because he again, who cares about control? We're just banging this thing somewhere. And now they got both of them in the same spot. So you got bailed out by them doing really poorly on the counterattack. But you gave up a ton of space for absolutely no reason when you guys should have still had offensive pressure. One of the things that I'm noticing here, man, is you will tunnel vision on boost, especially when you don't need it, not considering like what your teammate's doing. So your teammate is upfield, and you say, screw that, you stay upfield by yourself, I'm going back. For what reason? Who's to really say? Because yeah, this is not great. Luckily, your teammate pressures the bump, so you're good. But definitely not what you want to find yourself doing, and, yeah. Okay, so this is probably the one where you're like, oh my gosh, my teammate's terrible. Allow me to ask you a couple questions for this. So you see your teammate right there. There's only one defender back. You're in a tie game with 1 minute and 9 seconds. What is the urge to boost upfield along the sidewall here? I think you're going to spook your teammate here, honestly. I think you're going to force him to go faster than he wants to. Because number one, he thought he might have this ball. He sees you, he's like, okay, cool, teammate's got it, no problem. And then I think he's going to take this a bit slower. But he sees you boosting down the side. And I think that makes him want to go faster. Because he doesn't know exactly what you're doing. Maybe he thinks you're going to go bump. And he wants to, like, get this ball into the air. so that you can like go get this guy or something, or maybe he's trying to pop it up for a pass for you. I don't really know, but him seeing you here makes him not be able to just focus on what he's doing here, because he has to be like, okay, teammates here, I have to be careful with this, because now if anything goes wrong, you're upfield, he's upfield, free counterattack the other way. Just play calmer. You don't need to push forward. This is fine. I don't mind that you go back for it because you can't see your teammate. The second you see him, he's right there, go behind him. Be here, because then he can do whatever he wants. He can take a 1v1. Like, it's fine. We don't need to go for a bump. We don't want to overcommit because we don't want to give any chance of a free counterattack. Let him do his thing, and then that way, if he still panics and misses, you're right there. Free ball. You're good. But instead, you push forward, and then you're not there to cover off of it. And then again, so he misses. You recognize he misses, and I want you to watch how much longer you just keep driving forward before you start to turn. Like, I guarantee what's going through your head right now, because we've all done this. You're watching this, you're thinking, here comes control. Your teammate doesn't have it, and instead of reacting to it, you're like, oh my gosh, my teammate sucks. This is awful. Oh my gosh, why is this guy so bad? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, I should probably play the ball. Oh, it's in my net. Oh, no. Well, that's my teammate's fault. I couldn't have done anything there. Nope, couldn't have been me. I think the mentality needs to shift, right? Because a lot of players like the idea of, like, I am going to be so good that I'm going to make perfect decisions all the time. I'm going to put myself in the best spot. I'm going to be amazing. But then they don't consider that, hey, your actual goal in a team game, your job as a teammate is to support your team. If you're not supporting your team, you're not actually helping them. You're just constantly selling them out. And any mistake they make is going to be amplified because you're just not supporting what they're doing. You should always be able to find yourself in spots on the field where should your teammate make a mistake, you are in a position to cover for him. That's the best way to play twos. Not play super aggressively. Just make sure I'm watching my teammate. If he makes a mistake, I'm here to cover for him. I will always be there to support my teammate. I'm not going to throw myself out of the game. Not going to put myself in bad spots. I will be there to support my teammate, so their mistakes won't matter as much. This is fine. What do we do with the space? Almost get the ball blasted over us. Yeah, that's a bit lucky that that's not being boomed over our heads, but, you know, we're applying pressure. We're down. It's fine. Generational shot, as you like to say.
Yep.
Take your time. You rush. You 100% rush, because I guarantee you right now, you have no idea where that guy is. You just see open net. And you're like, go! When in reality, like, you have an air dribble here. Like, you're good. You have full boost. This guy's just sent himself out of the play. Take your time. Get the touch you want. This is the double tap opportunity. Because you only have one defender coming back. Which means a ball bouncing off the backboard is not as dangerous because there is not two opponents ready to be able to counterattack. This guy's going to have to defend the net first. That's the opportunity where the double tap's more advantageous because your teammate also has boost and can circle back into the play. So this is the opportunity, not the one earlier. This is the one you want, and you rush it. And just pass it right to your opponent. But again, this is the same spot. You threw yourself out of the play, overcommitting on offense when you still have 30 seconds left because you didn't take the time to get a good touch. And now at this point, like watching this from your teammate's perspective again, like what the heck is he supposed to do? He's got 39 boosts, this ball's boomed over his head. He's actually playing very patiently to see where Shelby's going to put this. Like he's in a great spot. He just is champ and can't read exactly where it's going to get this save. Like he almost does it. He plays it fantastically. He just can't do it. But again, that's all because you put him in the world's worst position where he's got to defend against it. And I guarantee this entire game, he's going, why is my teammate continuing to leave me alone in bad spots? The entire game. Like, that's the reality of what happened. Like, you just constantly overcommitted and then expecting your teammate to bail you out. As you guys can see, despite our teammate not necessarily playing perfectly throughout that game, we put them in plenty of bad positions simply by making poor decisions ourselves. And if a decision we make ends up putting our teammate in a poor spot, we can't really blame them for making a mistake when we have done absolutely nothing to help them. So make sure in your own games you really focus on being in position to support your teammate so that you're able to cover for their mistakes the same way you would hope they would be there to cover for yours. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video, and I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, and again, possibly have one of your own replays analyzed in the future, make sure you do check out that Discord that is again linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.